Hello everybody, and welcome back. There was a huge patch this morning. I have no idea what was in it, but it was big. So I'm sure there's been lots of tweaks and updates to the game. Because we are so early on in this Let's Play, I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to notice. But first of all, I just want to take a quick look and see if there's anything different. There is something right here. Field retraining. This ability allows you to immediately redistribute your XP points of this character. I'm just going to stick that over here. Let's go ahead and just everybody got one. Okay. I guess if you need a respec from the changes, if you've been playing for a while, that makes sense. So that's nice of them to do that. Last episode, we had to fight Ethelthrad, who was corrupted and turned into a chaos beast. He's laying here right in front of us. We managed to defeat him, and now we need to look for the Master Helmsman. He must be found in order to begin the translation from the warp. He's the only person capable of coordinating the crew and guiding the void ship out of this perilous dimension. And yes, I want to leave this dimension immediately. So, we can't go anywhere that way. I think there was some loot over here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, we'll just collect all of that. And there's somebody who's alive.
The heir is dead. He sacrificed himself to save the entire dynasty.
Old man, he was never going to make it. He was mutating right in front of us. You just ended his suffering sooner.
Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Oh, well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the warp. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
Well, what must I do?
Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report. Oh, blast it all to the void. Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, mistress. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. And please hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
Well, I'm ready. Let's begin the ritual. Theodora. The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other a vessel of ancient evil. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp.
Who are you to oppose destiny itself for the sake of lives that are not your own? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world. Pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. A muddled, erratic, pointless tangle.
It resonates and merges with voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. You are to blame for Theodore's death.
I am the beginning and the end and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
This is very interesting. This being apparently can just be whoever it wants to be, although it's obvious to me that it is not the real person. What does he mean? The day of his resurrection.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
I am no servant of yours.
Seneschal, the navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision,
I'm not going to say anything.
it is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lady. It is because of her toils that we all still live. The deed is done, mistress. My apologies. I meant to say, Lord Captain.
All right, well, I've been promoted, it would seem.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained, for the second in line to the rogue trader dynasty survived, and through the strength of her resolve, saved those who were counting on her for protection.
Cargo management. We'll do that another time. We're kind of familiar with that. Okay, so it would seem that Abelard is not speaking of his own accord, so we may not have voice acting all the time. That's fine. I'll just do the best I can. Well then, your ladyship. You cannot but help notice that the seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. I don't see where I am. Oh, I'm sitting in the throne. Okay. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy's deputy, while others go unfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. All right. Well, what is on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. I'm still receiving updates, and they're not encouraging. Prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your ladyship, and take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge. And they, in turn, will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. I see. Well, let's not waste any time. I'm ready to start the briefing. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the chamber. Okay then, look at them all. A dozen pair of eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention, officers! You have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Awnya von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Oh, I kind of would like to do this one because it might speed up the conversation a bit, but that's rather rude. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish. Victus Suri Auda, our new Vox Master. It is an honor to serve your ladyship. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external forces. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Revor, the master helmsman. He steers our ship. Lord Captain, this here ship is as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. And lastly, our high factotum Janris Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. It is an honor, your ladyship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. We have the Master of Ordnance, who's responsible for artillery, the Infernus Master, who extinguishes fire, and lastly the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah. The Omnissiah is an entity, the god of knowledge. Okay. They all salute you. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. Serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. Let's see. I wish to hear from the Infernus Master. Yes, Lord Captain. I can report that all fires across the decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of loss and crew has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal. All right. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master expired. The lad is managing well so far. All right. High Factotum, what have you to report?
We are toiling day and night, compiling a full account of the losses. The taxes will require next to no involvement from you. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given to the tech priest's hands for attention. We have lost more than 2,000 crew. Unfortunately, this number is not confined to the lower decks. We will be able to make up our losses on Rycadman Norris. However, the planet, this whole system, belongs to another rogue trader, the Winterscale dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting the planet without speaking to the governor. Negotiations are a matter for you, my lord. Well, that's especially true given Caligos Winterscale's penchant for, shall we say, attacking first and asking questions later. Well, thank you, Drives Master. I will hear from you now. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. Oh, you know what? That might be those white spirits we saw during the combat. Interesting. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed. Thank thee, O Messiah. But its spirit mourns its dead. We have not identified a prayer capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must report that the ancient seer Prime, the overseer and spiritual authority of all tech priests, fell in battle. A most terrible loss. We require a replacement. Okay. Well, I see. Thank you. Master Helmsman, your report. Oh, right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our engineer Prime and navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen. All right, well, it's best that we don't do that for now. Your ladyship, if you will allow me to interject, when we arrived in this system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was a novice Nobilite station. The station maintains complete silence, but even in its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull, as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. It is the words of the demon that appeared. I am the will of the Weaver of Destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. Nobody else seems to be able to know that that is happening to me or around me, so I guess we'll just move on. If I were you, Lord Captain, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? No, my job is simple. Maintain the arsenal. But just ask anyone. We've got no able crew. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. Oh, I apologize. Please, please. Lord Captain, pardon the fool. The ship is in ruins. Every other officer's dead, and the Lord Captain's no longer with us. Fear has taken hold of me. The Master of Ordnance can report that the rest of the arsenal has been saved, and the battery is in good order. All right, to summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new engineer, Prime, and navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems have to be inspected, which can only be carried out at a footfall station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we'll never get there if we don't solve these other immediate problems. I see. Thank you all for your reports. You are dismissed. Your ladyship, there's one more thing. A confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora brought the ship here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader, and I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. Interesting. I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodore's desk. It was signed XC. You are referring to the contents of that note, I presume? Yes, quite right. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out Heinrichs van Calix, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he's somewhere in this system. We have to find him and offer whatever assistance he requires, and then take him to Footfall with us. Finding him without any more information will be difficult, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either Navis Nobilite or the governor of Rykad Minoris, may know something. I see. And that's about it, your ladyship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valancius Protectorate. Adira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the road trader. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Daybreak! Adira, come to your senses. Damn it! I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn. And it is ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? Can you tell us anything else? No, not yet. The voices are all going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know, I'll report. If you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge. I'm sure you would benefit from my whispers. All right, well, if there's nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time I get to work. The high factotum breaks away from the rest and approaches me, bowing repeatedly. Lord Captain, if I may steal just one moment of your time, the matter is rather delicate as it concerns trophies that were left after the battle. One trophy in particular, I should say. All right, continue. I retrieved a blade fragment from one of the bodies on the bridge. It's a curious article. I saw the need to keep it safe in case it should be of interest to you. No, this is one of the conviction decisions. You should keep it for now. As soon as we locate this acolyte of the Inquisition, you will hand the blade over to him. A spike of pain pierces your skull. The entity inside you howls and rages, promising you 1,000,000 torments and miseries for this treachery. But I got 3 points. Of course, your ladyship. All right. We are finished with our briefing. I'm going to check the journal. We completed by the right of blood. And now we go into chapter 1. Looking for trouble. Okay, it says here we have to visit Raikadi Phyla, the prison planet. The prison planet in the Raikad system may have caught the interrogator's attention, and we have to make contact with the Navis Nobilite station. The navigator's abode could have been a plausible destination for an interrogator of the Ordo Xenos. The station's residents may tell the rogue trader if they're playing host to such a guest. So he could be at either one of those places, this fellow we need to find. We also need to land on Raikad Minoris, because the interrogator might also be there. I'm guessing we want to land on here and speak to the governor, since he's in charge of this whole system. And if we just go around him, he might not be too happy about that. We also have a lot of other things that have popped up on our screen, which we will look at in due time, but not today. So I think we will leave the episode here. Thank you for joining me. Please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.